it appears after a couple missed days or whatever you want to say, because I know this weekend we're supposed to get hit with a bunch of fucking snow. Legends Clubhouse is back.
We had a couple snow days, man. Well, you're in Florida.
Yeah.
You're not getting snow. Anyway, welcome back to the Legends Clubhouse on this special Thursday edition, Thirsty Thursday. I am Bobby Kaboose, as always, Mr. Florida Man himself. I'm pretty sure you've been in a couple of Florida headlines. Just Google Lawson Turner, Florida, and you will probably find him, getting drunk with an alligator or something. What's going on, man? How's the bright, sunny
Yeah.
weather of the Sunshine State? Is it the Sunshine State?
Yeah, I'm pretty
All right,
sure.
cool.
The it's been chill. Been here a couple days. Once again, as you guys can kind of see, like the normal, well, not normal, but the background that happened. I think it was in November when I was down here. We are house slash dog sitting. Saw dog sitting again with for my boy. But once again, the show must go on. And been here the past 2 days. It's been nice, chill, sunny. It was really surprising, like how I'm not someone that normally gets cold because I've been, in the South and in the hot, my whole life. So when I got here, it was when I flew from Atlanta to here in the morning, it was like 38 in Atlanta. And then when I got to Tampa, it was like 58. And I was like, holy shit, like a whole 30-degree, like it was like a crazy flip flop. But yeah, dude, it's been, nice and chill. I know you got some snow.
Yeah, man, it's been cold. It's windy. We got snow. Tomorrow's gonna be like frigid. There's like a weather advisory for how cold it's gonna be tomorrow, and going into Saturday. So yeah, just another great winter in Michigan. I feel like Adam Schefter with the bookcase behind me. The nice little decor.
Yeah, right.
I am on as well. And yeah, man, we're here on a Thursday. We
Hmm.
missed Monday. We missed Monday because it was the MLK Day, not to get confused with drinking milk day. And we missed yesterday because of we just had a snow day, and we're back.
Hmm.
Um, we got. I mean, we could talk about a lot of different things
Yeah, a
here, but
lot.
what's been in your life, since Friday,
Mhm.
the weekend, the half a week that we've already experienced. What's been going on for the last 6 days?
Dude, just a lot, and I mean a lot of traveling. I was visiting family in Tennessee last time I saw me, so I went from Tennessee to Georgia to Florida in a 3-day span. So just travel, 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 travel. But we had an awesome divisional round, and we have I don't know if you watched the Natty. But that game was awesome. We got two amazing championship games this weekend. I'm super and the NBA trade deadline is upon us in about a week and a half. So we're super excited for it. It seems that everything is just falling into that time of the year, and we're what 50 like 4 days away from betting on Nerfies again. So that's always fucking amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it is amazing. We're only 54 days away from the greatest bet of all time. The most exciting bet that you can do, the no runs first inning, or
Hmm.
if you want spicy, the Yurfie, the yes runs first inning. But
Hmm.
yeah, man. So you explained there's a lot going on. We were filming 64-bit Legends wrestling promos last week, getting some of those out. By the way, we need yours by Monday, if
Mine
that's
will be
cool. If
here
you
within
could.
the next couple days.
All right, cool. So just send me that over when it's ready.
Hmm.
Um, we're going to have 30 contestants going after the winner will face the winner of the champion Gary Galaxy, aka Astro Dynamo, Deuce Leadfoot, and Fuzzy the Cuddle Slut will all be in a three-way dance, as they say it, for the 64-bit Legends title, and the winner of the Rumble will go on to face the champion. And we have a great undercard as well for the Rumble. The Rumble will be February 7th, I believe. It's a Saturday. You'll see a flyer out for that soon. But yeah, man,
Nice.
we before we get into the
Sports talk.
NFL playoffs, I put out an article about and fortunately, well, I guess do you consider like the Falcons your secondary team, or like do you have a secondary team, or is it just
No,
Steelers or no?
it's I think secondary teams, I understand people's philosophies. Like, I know you brought up your secondary team and you're like, well, Detroit was dog ass for the majority of my life except these last 3 years. So I kind of you kind of adopt a secondary team. I choose one team, and it. I hope every Sunday all 31 other teams will lose besides my
Yeah,
Steelers. Like, I just I hope every other team loses. Now, obviously, there are other teams that I'm like, oh well, I kind of keep a little bit more tabs on, especially when they're like my
yeah.
friends' teams. Like, example, my buddy who's crib I'm at now, he's a giant Seahawks fan. Steve Largent signed helmet over there, but like I always tell him, "Hey, I hope the Seahawks do good." He's like, "No, you don't." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do, I because I know on the off chance that they like whether blow a big game or something that it's going to be it would be hilarious, but I don't want to see my friends in pain. Now there are certain like teams that me and my buddies teams are rivals, so obviously I hope they lose then. But normally, like example, I hope Detroit is good because we do a show together. A good chunk of the stuff that we talk about, is like Detroit based. So obviously, like,
Mhm.
I hope the Tigers do good because Scooble's one of my favorite players. I hope the Lions do good because when Lions do good, Caboose is in a good mood. When Caboose is in a good mood, we're all in a good mood.
Oh,
Right.
right. So, so I put this question out because like
Hmm.
we're sitting there, we're watching NFL playoffs, and you have going into this weekend you had two different teams in the playoffs that had never won a Super Bowl, right? And
Hmm.
so, Josh Allen and the Bills and the Houston Texans, right? So, I'm sitting there watching the Bills game, right? And I I didn't have any money on it or anything, and I'm just watching the Bills Broncos. And my dad, there was about 40 seconds left of the regulation. My dad's watching TV, and he switches the channel off, and I'm like, dude, there's 40 seconds left. Like, put the fucking TV on. Wheel of Fortune is a rerun. You don't need to watch real Wheel of Fortune on a Saturday night. I'm like, just put it back on. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go up. Well, first he's like, who are you rooting for? I'm like, I'm not really, I don't really care who wins,
On a
and
good game.
uh,
That's what I'm rooting
yeah,
for.
and I go gun to my head, I'd probably pick Denver, and so I'm thinking about it, and the more I'm watching it, and they're heading to overtime and stuff. I may have been, I may have been starting to get under the influence, but I was like, you know what? Fuck the Bills. And like, I was like, I'm like, why do I feel like this? I'm like, all of a sudden, I want Denver to win and shit. And everyone's like, "Oh, Josh Allen," and even after the game, like Josh Allen's fucking crying and shit. He knows that he probably wasted the best opportunity that he's ever gonna have to
Right.
win a Super Bowl without Mahomes and Jackson in it, right? But I'm thinking, and I'm like, why am I rooting for the Broncos so hard? And it was because they mentioned the Buffalo Bills never won a Super Bowl. And I'm like, why would I? Okay, I'm all about like, I don't want to see the same teams in the Super Bowl every year. But like that doesn't mean I want the teams that have never won a Super Bowl to win. Like because if you think about it, me as a Detroit Lions fan, we have never even got to the Super Bowl. We got our biggest claim to fame. I hope they put it in the rafters, like half away from Super Bowl. You
Was
put the
up
halftime up there against San Francisco.
was up
Almost.
24/7 at half. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I want that banner. But I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, why would I root for a team that's never been to the Super Bowl to win a Super Bowl? We are in this exclusive club no one wants to be in, right? It's like being at the losers table or being, at the island of misfit toys. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, we don't want to be in this club. We want to have a Super Bowl ring. So why would I root for any team that does not have a Super Bowl? So that means you, Buffalo Bills. I don't care about Josh Allen. And then the next day I was like, okay, Lions fans, now we have to root for the Patriots. And my rooting helped, and they won. And so the Texans are out. We have to do that for Atlanta. They had an opportunity. They were down up 28-3. They blew it. Minnesota is 0-4 in the Super Bowl, and so is the Bills. Everyone knows that the Bills lost four in a row, and they're losers. Um, and then Cincinnati has never won it, but they got there. Joe Burrow couldn't get it done. And I think they were there in the early stages of the Super Bowl as well. I think they lost like Super Bowl one or two or three or something, four maybe somewhere in there.
They
Uh,
lost. I know before the Joe Burrow loss. I know they lost to Montana and the Niners back when they had oh, what was his name? Boomer Esiason, and if
mm.
maybe Chris Collinsworth was on that team.
Yeah. So we have those ones.
Mhm.
The Arizona Cardinals, who, outside of Detroit, I think is the longest franchise to never win one. But they had a chance against the Steelers.
Mhm.
Probably one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, Kurt Warner, likes to throw a pick six for 117 yards to a slow ass linebacker. That's cool. And then is, I'm waiting on one team. I know one team, but I'm not saying it yet. The Jacksonville Jaguars, newer franchise, had early success, got to the AFC Championship a couple times, was never able to get there. The
Mhm.
Panthers have had two opportunities. I think against the Patriots and
Denver.
Denver. Okay, so against like two of the greatest quarterbacks of all
Yeah.
time. Um, but then you have the Browns, and I think they're the last team in this group. And as a Lions fan, yeah, I understand that our franchise is pretty pathetic, but we're not as pathetic as the Browns.
Right.
We
It's
didn't
it's hard
we
to be
didn't have
that bad.
Right. We didn't have a franchise leave town, stay in the same division, and win a Super Bowl. We were the first team to go 0-16. We didn't copycat that. We haven't had 77 quarterbacks since the year 99. We are just better because we're not in Ohio. So,
Right.
so we have this exclusive club that no one wants to be part of. Why would I root for any team in this club to leave the club before we do?
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
That's my whole point. And I like, and I explained to a couple people because like, oh, I want Josh Allen, and I'm like, why? Like that does nothing for you. Who cares?
Josh
He's not. He doesn't
Allen.
play in Detroit. If your secondary team is hey Lions fans, if your secondary team is a team that has never won the Super Bowl, get a new secondary team.
I remember seeing after they in the oncoming days after the Bills lost, a lot of Steeler fans on Twitter were like, "Oh, Josh Allen's never going to get it done." Demanded trade to the Steelers, just to shoot the shit. Um,
Yeah.
the presence of seeing a potential, and I think Josh Allen's an all-time. He's the might be the best pure talent at the quarterback position maybe ever. Like you don't like John Elway was amazing. He didn't move like Josh Allen. The thing,
Mm-mm.
and with Josh Allen being an all-time great or a potential Hall of Fame esque player, we love seeing those players finally get their mark. And I don't understand the like his left tackle Deion Dawkins, who had a rough game. Also, who for the totality of his career, he's been excellent. Like he was crying because Josh said, I feel like I let my teammates down, and he's like, no, he's the reason why we're there. It's like I don't understand the protection and shield that like the media and other players have over Josh Allen. Like, yes, he is the engine that makes the entire organization and franchise run. However,
Hmm.
like he was also the reason why they lost. Like
Right.
when I was watching the game and they were down 7.5 because Bo Nix with that beautiful touchdown, and I think Buffalo had no timeouts left, and there was like 17 seconds left, or there was very minimal time.
Yeah.
The
Fumble.
fumble, and the second Josh takes off, I'm watching the game like everybody else. I'm like, okay, Josh is gonna pick up like 12 slide because you're in the middle of the field. You're not anywhere
Hmm.
near the sideline to try and do anything. And then Josh, who's carrying the ball like he's LaShawn McCoy in one hand, just fumbles and Denver jumps on it and boom, and now you're down 10. And then the very first, I think it was the first play in the second half, blindside strip sack. And
Hmm.
like Josh Allen's great, and you can make an argument he's a top two and he's not two quarterback in the league. The only thing that is devastating is he's been a bit of a roller coaster in terms of his turnovers, and it doesn't take away from all the good things that he does do. One of my biggest criticism when it comes to players or not players, when it comes to fans and media and anybody who talks about sports and stuff like that, if you accept players for who they are, they will never like really let you down because like, oh, you're telling me Josh Allen, who's been a historic playoff performer, had 4 turnovers. Well, I mean, yeah, he's the best
Yeah.
wild card quarterback ever. But after that, it's kind of. I mean, he's had a couple not really stinkers because like that 13-second game against Mahomes might be the best just pure game I've ever seen. Like someone so dialed in, and then for him to have the inner like the those plays were on first and second down. Like
Yeah.
like the pick in overtime. That's the is it a catch? Is it a pick? X Y Z. Clearly, you know about the Calvin Johnson rule. Must survive the ground. And the second he hit Brandon Cooks hit the ground and the ball's coming out, it's whoever ends up with the ball.
Dude, whoever said were you listening to the game?
Yeah,
Whoever said, "Oh, I don't know about the days that you make a catch and you land on the ground and you're touched and you're not down," dude, sounded like a fucking idiot. I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" I go, "Oh, so all of a sudden you don't have to complete a process or make a football move or anything? Like you're
yeah.
literally touching the same ball control and no one has full control yet, and the defender comes away with it." I was like, "You are so stupid. You sound like such an idiot right now." Because yeah, everyone does remember the Calvin Johnson rule, and remember those like 4 or 5 years that no one knew what a catch was because they would slow the camera down so much, and they'd be like, "Oh, the ball moved a little bit. I think it hit the ground."
Look,
Like, get the
look
fuck
at
out of here.
Look at Des Bryant. The ball never hit the ground. He even came
Yeah,
down with the fucking thing.
yeah.
Look at the Jesse James play. He extended, the ball hit the ground, and it slipped a little bit. Guess what? Incomplete. Guess what?
Mhm.
Incomplete. And on Saturday night, interception.
Yep.
And so
And
I don't know. I think Josh Allen is, you can make an argument he's just purely the best player in the league, but
mhm.
the shielding around him, it's kind of starting to get on my nerves a little bit. And it's not like I'm a Josh Allen hater. I'm a Josh Allen fan. I love seeing him on Sundays. He's amazing because every play in every game, you don't know what you're going to get for good and for bad.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think this was his best opportunity and will probably be his best opportunity
Yeah.
to win a Super Bowl, or at least the easiest road to the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Because even with the Patriots and Drake May, those dudes and Bo Nix, those dudes are just gonna get better. You were the best quarterback in the playoffs, and had an, let's face it, kind of an easy road to the Super Bowl. I mean, the Broncos
Did
had a great.
anyone think? Yeah, I was gonna say, did anyone think Denver was like a world beater in the AFC? And they were the number one seed. No.
Right, right, and that probably won't happen again with a world with Jackson and Mahomes in the AFC.
Right.
Um, so I think he floundered a huge opportunity.
Hmm.
Um, now it's wondering if he's going to be this era's Dan Marino, where he's just Hall of Fame quarterback, no Super Bowls, but I mean he's got a lot of left in his career, but we will see, man. We will see. I don't know if he'll be able to get it done in Buffalo. It's not
I'll
like
give you a
Buffalo is
good
a
one.
great free agents either. So,
I'll give you a good one. In the, the Manning, Big Ben, Rivers, someone's got to be Rivers.
yeah.
And so it's like, Big Ben had, top 10 stats and got 2 rings, got to another Super Bowl. Eli got maybe the 2 best rings ever, and
Mhm.
really good Hall of Fame borderline stats. And then Phil Rivers is like, well, I got all the stats. I got
Right.
I got to an AFC Championship game in '07 with the pop. What do you play with, the torn ACL or
Mhm.
something ridiculous?
So,
I've had, huh?
so something like that.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of really good teams and a lot of regular season, or semi-regular season success. Because I remember there was one year where they were like the number one scoring offense, the number one scoring defense, and they missed the playoffs. I'm like, dude, how?
Yeah. And then we had what? We had the beat down between Seattle and the 49ers. I don't even want to talk about that because
Yeah,
I don't
it
really care.
was at a certain point when a team is built together by Scotch tape, not even duct tape,
Yeah.
rope. It's like eventually the wheels will come off, and I thought they would be closer, but right when Seattle returned the opening kick for a touchdown, I'm like, yeah, this shit's a wrap.
Well, see, I thought on the contrary, I thought okay, I think it was at one point like 17-6 or
Hmm.
something, or and San Fran may have scored, or I don't know, but I was like San Fran might come back because I was like they had the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and I believe they had like a pick six or something. So their defense, I think, did Seattle's defense score the
I don't,
second touchdown, or no?
I don't
It
think.
was
I know they
Smith and
forced
Jim.
a couple of fumbles. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I'm like, okay, their defense is keeping them in this game. Their offense isn't really doing much. San Francisco can probably come back, and then I turn it off to watch Clueless for a little bit, switch it over, and it's 34-6. I'm like, well,
right.
this game's over. I don't need to pay attention, so I don't even
Hmm.
need to talk about that. So Seattle will be taking on the Rams, who beat the Bears.
Bro,
Um,
I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I know it's gonna feel bad for Detroit and the NFC. When Caleb, because I'm sure you watched the game, when Caleb made that throw, and I know you know the throw I'm talking about. I was watching the game, and the first thing that popped into my head, and I texted some buddies immediately. That's the future best player in the league. Like the week
bold
before,
prediction.
like the week before, 4th and 8, season on the line, rolling left, flip your hips, zip it on a rope. In this game, 4th and 4 on the 14-yard line, you run all the way back to your 40. He threw a 52-yard, 14-yard touchdown. Like that shit doesn't make any sense. Like there are if Caleb can clean up his accuracy issues, and there are where like Caleb's on his best when he pulls shit out of his ass, and it's like
Yeah,
he makes throws that only one person or two people can make in the entire league, and then he'll miss a pass in the flat where it's like, oh, 32 out of 32 players should make that, and he
yeah,
misses it. But I feel like with accuracy, you can fix that. Like look at Josh Allen's first couple of years. Then he got Brian Daboll, and his accuracy and turnovers. His accuracy went up, his turnovers went down. With Caleb and his, because I think out of all like the qualifying quarterbacks, he was dead last in a completion percentage. I think that if Caleb can fix that, and I think he's talented enough to do that, like I don't see any like he's got a ridiculous arm. Out since Lamar doesn't do it anymore, I was thinking about it. Caleb might be the most like explosive running quarterback. He doesn't do it a lot, but like he gets from point A to point B within snap of a finger. His acceleration is ridiculous. Like Josh Allen is the only other quarterback to me that is just take off and go. And Caleb is obviously he's not 6'5". He's 6'3", a thicker dude. But I feel like if Ben Johnson could increment, like get Caleb not get Caleb on the move more and call some every now and again just a design quarterback draw or a QB power or whatever, because he's got some ridiculous wheels. Like there was a couple times in the Rams game and in overtime where I think it was like might have been like a third and 5, and Caleb once again breaks contain and just beats the linebacker to the sticks. I'm just like, dude, that dude's a freak.
Yeah, I actually caught myself rooting for the Bears in that game because you know my love for Matt Stafford, and
Or lack
um, I
thereof.
I mean I can't like yeah, it irks me that Ben Johnson went to a team in the division, but like it's a promotion, dude. Like it's what offensive coordinator is not going to take a head coaching job? I mean, I know he had his pretty much choice of whatever
Hmm.
place he wanted. But like I said, it does irk me that he wanted to go to a division rival, but
Hmm.
shit happens, right? So I can't
Right.
really blame him for that. So I'd rather see him move on to the playoffs than Matt Stafford. But I think there was something in that game too that I want like something regarding commentary or something that happened that I wanted to bring up, and I
Hmm.
should have wrote a note on it, but I completely
I'll
forgot.
give you something that was really interesting that was on the Rams side. So the Rams get the ball to start overtime. And I'm like, okay, Chicago, like going into the game, I was like, there's a chance the Rams blow out the Bears just because the Rams score 40 plus because Chicago's defense is bad. And in overtime, the Rams went run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the middle, punt. And when they punted, and I really thought the Bears were going to win when they got the ball in overtime because I'm like they're rolling. I watched Caleb walk to that huddle, just teased up, ready, and I'm like, dude, he's in the fucking zone. But I was thinking about, I'm like, Sean McVay, you probably have the MVP of the league, and in overtime he's not he didn't throw the ball once, and you're gonna
Yeah.
lose, and that's gonna be the conversation come Monday. Now the conversation come Thursday. Now they ended up winning the game, so
Mhm.
all that aside, because when Caleb threw that pick, that was miscommunication. Stafford was excellent, but when once again when Chicago got the ball, my initial thought process was if they drive down the field and kick this field goal and they walk them off, big
Yeah.
conversation is going to be, well, you have the MVP of the league and he doesn't throw a single pass in overtime and you go 3 and out. Just insane.
Right. Yeah. What was the other game? Patriots and the Texans. Yeah,
Texans,
Patriots
yeah.
and Texans. CJ Stroud not showing up. Don't really care about him. Don't really care about the Texans.
Really,
Lost. Get him.
really quick. I've been in arguments with my buddy because um, he believes in CJ Stroud, and I've told him, dude, I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm out. Like, we were in a screaming match because I said Baker was a better quarterback than CJ Stroud, and he called me dumb, and I'm like,
I
we're gonna
agree.
see. We're gonna
I
see.
agree. I agree that Baker is the better quarterback, but I
Thank
also
you.
agree that you're.
Right. Dick. But then fucking like it was just so funny to me because it's not like New England's offense was doing much of nothing. It's what Will Campbell, their first round draft pick, their left tackle. He's getting just destroyed, and Drake May, whose whole Drake May's he was excellent when facing 5 or more pass rushers or blitzers this year, and he's fumbled. I think he fumbled the ball 4 times, and they lost 2 of them. And I'm like, Will Anderson had like 3.5 sacks with a forced fumble. Daniel Hunter was eating his lunch, and C.J. Stroud, I'm out, dude. Like
Yeah.
he was awesome his rookie year, and since then he's regressed the 2 following years. And I saw
Right.
after in the following days where CJ's talking to the media, and he was like, I know this isn't like I've still got a lot of ball ahead of me. This isn't the end of CJ Stroud or my career. I'm like, in year 3, that's not a good thing that you're saying that. And
Hmm.
afterwards, podcast clips and stuff come up of like when CJ after his first year was like, yeah, I'm a top 5 quarterback, and then would list his top 5 and had him in. I'm like, you bought off a little bit more than you can chew. And last year when he kind of did like the son thing to Caleb when they played, and I'm just like, dude. It's like when one of your boys is like talking to you like he's old, wise, and mystical. You're like, dude, you're like 6 months older than me. What the fuck do you mean? You know?
That's you get that kind of advice when you're like 7 years old, man. You're like, no, my birthday's in July and yours is in November. You better
So
listen to me, right?
right, I'm like, dude, like CJ, you've been in the league for 1 year and you're already trying to sun Caleb. And I don't know if you remember the picture, but Caleb's face is walking. He's like, mm-hmm. Like, yeah, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about either. But yeah, I'm completely out on CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Speaking of that, man, like one of my biggest pet peeves is like when you're having especially like a sports argument, right? 'Cause, like
Right.
sports are debatable, like you can have good conversation about it.
Mhm.
I I just hate when like people come in with either bullshit facts or things that just don't make sense. So like for
When
example,
they bring up
we're
super advanced 9 level deep stats to be like, that's what qualifies my opinion as fact.
Yeah, yeah. So we're sitting at the local watering hole, right, watching these
Mm-hmm.
NFL games,
All right.
and this guy walks in with a Dodgers hat, and I think he might have been wearing a Dodgers shirt. So he sits down, and we're bullshitting, and I say that Otani is going to probably be the best baseball player we ever see in our lifetime, right?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I agree, blah 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 blah. And so the guy next to me, who's one of my buddies, he's an older guy. He's probably near 70 years old. Um, Lions season ticket holder, great guy. And he was like, no, he's like, no one will ever be better in my lifetime than Pete Rose. And so we're having like a little debate, and then I'm like, I go, I understand Pete Rose is the all time hit leader. He is 100 more than Ty Cobb. He's got 4,200 hits.
Which is
Um,
fucking nuts.
right. So I'm like, okay, I see your argument, but I say, well, Tani plays both ways. Like, Pete Rose was not a top five pitcher and a top five hitter at the same time,
Right.
which I believe Otani, if not top five, definitely top 10. Like,
Right.
he's in the conversation.
The
So,
ye- I agree with you, but that would here's what would be my immediate like argument about him. Like the year he took off from pitching because he tore like his UCL and he couldn't throw but he could
mm,
swing. He had the first ever 50-50 season. Like, bro,
right,
what?
right.
That's if he was
So,
just a pure hitter.
I'm making the argument for Otani.
Mm,
This Dodger fan is agreeing with me, and like, my older buddies, like, like I just don't think you can convince me that Otani is better than Charlie Hustle. I'm like, dude, I respect that because I wasn't around when he played. I'm comparing Otani to Babe Ruth, and Babe Ruth didn't even do pitching and hitting at the same time.
yeah.
This kid, man, I call him a kid because he's younger than me. He's probably close to your age.
Mm,
Uh, but he's like, oh, and this is where I'm like, dude, like you just lost any kind of credibility or argument or whatever. And he's like, well, if when at the end of Otani's career, he'll have more hits than Pete Rose. And I'm like,
he's got to play for
what?
like 20 more years.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like I agree with you about Otani being the greatest, but I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And he's like, yeah, he goes, Otani's like 27, 28. I go, he's 31. So
Right.
that already discredits your argument. And I go, he's only got like, and I say only, but he's got like 1,050 hits or something. Like I looked it up, and I go, do the math, man. I go, you would have to just simple math. That's why I like baseball because it's numbers. It's very like black and white. Like you look at a statistic, they're either good
Right.
or not. There's not really much of an eyeball test,
Mm,
or whatever, because everything can be resulted in facts and statistics.
right.
So I say, look, man, he's got a little over 1,000 hits. He needs a little over 4,200 hits. I go, and I believe the number is 4,200 because I think Ty Cobb's at 41. But
Yeah.
anyway, uh, I'm like, do you know what he would have to do for the next 10 years? The next 10 years, he would have to hit over 300 hits a season,
Just
and
curious, what's the
stay
record for
healthy.
hits in a season? Do you know off the top of your head?
Uh, no, but I don't think it's near 300.
I'm gonna look it up.
It up for me. So we're going through this, and I'm like, okay, dude, now you're starting to sound like an idiot. Um, and
You
I'm like,
ready?
dude, yeah, it's
200
probably
and
something crazy.
262 by Ichiro.
Okay,
And th-
dude,
and then
would have
and that
to
was
break
in
each other's record every
and
year
that
for the
was in
next 10.
and that was in 2004. I'm gonna give you the four people after it. George Sisler,
George Brett.
1920. Lefty O'Doul, 254, 1929. Bill Terry, 254, 1930. Al Simmons, 253, 1925. So, like, you're going back 100 years to break their records, too?
Dude, so you've had one guy do over 250 hits since World War II. I'll just say it like that. Uh, and you think this guy? So I'm like, dude, you just lost all credibility.
The most hits Shohei has ever had in a season was 2 years ago, and he had 197. So you're giving
See,
him another
but
103 hits just for 300?
right, but like I also had to explain to my older buddy. I go, you got to look at it this way too. I go, not only does Shohei, as far as pitching, he is like every starting pitcher in the league except for him gets 4 to 5 days of preparation for the next lineup that he's going to face. Shohei gets none of that because he has to prepare for the next pitcher he's going to face. Like it is
He has to
uncomparable
prepare
on
for the
how good.
net. He generally has to, like, right after he's done pitching, walks to the dugout and is immediately fucking on the on deck circle.
Yeah.
So it's just
So
like he doesn't have,
there's not really,
yeah.
there's not really a comparison, and like
No.
and but the fact is like it really like grinded my gears that like I'm like, dude, I'm trying to help your cause on why Otani is better, and you are ruining it by like saying this outrageous shit that he's gonna pass his hit record. And I'm like, whatever, bro.
We might not see anyone get 3,000 more hits.
Right,
And that's why
right.
when it comes to baseball, like a lot of baseball records, like, damn, dude, those are fucking almost untouchable.
Mm,
Like, and that's why I was explaining this to buddies. I'm like, if you're like, you can be in baseball, you can be a specialist, and they will find a spot for you. It doesn't matter your
mm,
height, your weight, how your ethnicity, how fast you are, how slow you are. Look at Big Prince Fielder. You think he was running a
right.
four? You think he was running a 5.7? No, but when he swung that bat and he touched that ball, it died. It went 800 feet that way.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, man. But like, yeah, I was just like I said, man. I can't stand when like or like okay. So for example, I worked with this guy at UPS, right?
Hmm.
Um, I would wear when before I was a full time driver, I helped load the trucks prior, and then I would do a little route and leave. And my shift was like pretty much like from like 3 4 in the morning to like 11 noon, right?
Right.
Um, so I would wear wrestling tees a lot while I loaded the trucks and stuff. And like the guy would come up to me, and like I can't stand when people have like a smidge of knowledge about stuff, and like they'll just like kind of repeat the same thing all the time. He'll be like, like almost like it was at least like twice or 3 times a week. He'd be like, "Yeah, man, that Ric Flair, woo," and like I'm like, "Yeah, what about him?" And like I'm like, yeah,
Got
or he'd be like,
right.
or he'd be like, yeah, I really used to like X Pac, and I'm like, cool, dude. Like, do you have anything to add to that? Like, I don't
No.
care who your favorite wrestlers were or what. Like, don't talk to me.
Right.
You know, it's just like little things like that, especially when it comes to sports or wrestling, that like I'm just like, dude, like if you don't know, just like ask. Don't think that you know something to somebody that probably knows a little bit more. And like
Hmm.
I try not to do that. Like and I probably do sometimes, but like if there's, something that like you're into, whatever, like I'll more so be like, okay, this is what I know, and you can teach me the rest, or I can
Right.
ask you questions about it, not being like, oh man, I'm a complete expert on everything. Because he'd be like, he would say these things, and I'm like, it's actually not factual. Like, or, like that's not right. That's not true, or
One of those
that
like,
didn't.
oh damn, did you see Stone Cold beat The Rock last night, and it's on a Wednesday afternoon? It's like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. You know
Yeah.
why? Because it wasn't on last night.
Right. Or like, yeah, man, like, I really liked when, you know, I can't think of a scenario like I don't know, you know, um, I can't think of a scenario right now, but it really bothers me
Something with
because I don't
like
want to
old
just.
and niche, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's just like you just because I'm wearing a shirt or I like something doesn't mean you have to like relate to me about it. Like
Right,
like we can talk about something else. Like
right. And it's not a
just be
big
hey,
deal.
how's your day going? I could be like, yeah, instead of being like, yeah, man, like Ric Flair, and just
Woo!
like he would just name a wrestler, and not say anything, and I'm like, cool, dude, you know a wrestler. Like I think I wore a shirt the other day. Like, did you just get it from that?
Bring more to the table than just Ric Flair, man.
100%.
Woo!
Yeah.
Like, do
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Just
And I'm just like, hey, dude, like, cool story. I'm
to
glad we talked. Like,
I'm
can I
glad
get back to work now?
I'm glad we talked. To stay on baseball for a second, because with if in case you missed it, Freddy Peralta,
How did I miss it? I wrote
star
an
you,
article about it.
not you, the you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were calling me out. I thought
like
you were
not
calling me out.
like not you, but they. The ominous they that are always watching. Wink, wink. But in case you missed it, Freddy Peralta, the star pitcher for the Brewers, got traded to. I think he's a star. He got traded to the New York Mets, and I think it's a bigger problem that the regular season win kings, the Brewers, traded their ace Freddie Peralta to the Mets because they don't want to fucking pay him because they're cheap. And I think that is almost as big as a black mark on the sport than people complaining that the Dodgers are just going out and buying everybody. Like I saw Kyle Tucker, they're only going to pay him $1 million this year with $60 million as a signing bonus. A lot of people are like, "Yep, buddy." Add tax evasion to the list of war crimes that the Dodgers are doing to not pay those LA taxes, boy. Yeah, though, but I just don't understand. Like, that's why either next year or whenever the new CBA happens, there's probably going to be a lockout, and they need to add a salary floor. Cap, no issue.
Absolutely.
Add a floor.
But
Make
I,
those teams spend money.
yeah, they need to force teams to spend money. I completely agree.
Hmm.
But this particular trade, I think, is great for both teams.
Oh,
If
I
you want
think.
to break down the trade,
Hmm.
97 wins. I had to look at how good Milwaukee was because
No,
Milwaukee is one of those teams that like even
can
their
fly
basketball
under the
team, like
radar.
I don't care about. Like for some reason Milwaukee seems like an East Coast city, and it's not. It's like in the middle of Wisconsin, and it's
Yeah.
Midwest, and I don't care. They're not Chicago. Oh, shit, they're not even Green Bay, and Green Bay's smaller than them. Um, and so I don't pay attention to the Brewers, and I had to look up. I'm like, holy shit, they had 97 wins last year.
And they swept the
Guess how much?
Dodgers like twice.
Yeah, so Peralta had 17 of those wins. So even without Peralta's wins, they have 80 wins. He only
Right.
plays every fifth day, which again, that's a whole another argument as far
For
as
pitchers.
do you want to pitch? Do you want to pay these pitchers this amount of money
Hmm.
for plays once a week? The Mets are seem to be fully in for this season. to try to compete with the Dodgers for the NL pennant and a World Series championship by getting Bo Bichette and now Freddy Peralta
Dude,
for the
they've been crazy
either
active.
top side of the rotation.
Hmm.
Peralta is coming off his best year of his career as far as ERA, win total. So the Brewers definitely sold high, which I give him all the credit for. If you're not going to
Hmm.
pay him, fucking trade him when he has the most value. We will see if last year, because I mean, had good career numbers, but like last year was really, really good. We'll see, like, if he can maintain that. If
Yeah.
you're gonna get rid of a player like that, hey, Tigers, if you're gonna get rid of a player like that, don't know if you have one. Don't know if you don't want to sign him long term because Scott Boras don't want him here. You might want to get rid of him for more than what the Brewers got.
Yeah.
But so the Brewers trade their ace. They still have Brandon Woodruff, who him and Peralta were kind of their two aces.
Hmm.
Um, but what they bring back is two of the Mets' top five prospects in their organization.
Yeah.
Jet Williams can basically play anywhere on the diamond. I believe Jet Williams was going to be in their infield before they got Bo Bichette. So
Hmm.
I think he's an MLB ready prospect. He's according to the video game, I think he's pretty fast. And he like I said, he's 22 years old too. And then you get the pitcher. I forget his name. Is it Brandon Strout or something like that?
Hmm.
Well,
Stroke.
he's a right-handed pitcher. I think he is MLB ready. So they get two, and I think he's like 24 years old. So you get two of the Mets' best prospects
Hmm.
on a team that has won 97 games, and you're getting younger and building for the future as well. So I don't know if the Brewers. I don't think the Brewers are ever like World Series contenders, even though they win a lot of regular season games. It just seems, like I said, man, it's just like I don't believe in them. I'm like, whatever, dude, make the playoffs and fizzle out versus whoever the hell you're gonna fizzle out
Hmm.
against. Uh, but I think it's a good move for both organizations. Like
Right.
if you're going to trade a guy like that, you trade him after his best year because
Hmm.
baseball's funky. There's I think baseball is the one sport where you can have these one-off years where you look like a superstar and never regain that.
Yeah.
Um, versus every other sport. Like, name me another sport where you have 1 year wonders like baseball. I mean, football
No.
maybe like it with a running back or something,
But
but
it's not like, but it's not as inconsistent. Not inconsistent. Inconsistent is probably not the right word, but it's not as wonky as baseball is. To where, yeah, comments go into the yeah, like in terms of like the trade and return, it works for both. One's win now, and one is get get younger and get more get
I think they're
it,
both win. I mean, Mets are really win now, but
right,
I think the
but
Brewers are sustaining longevity.
right. Like, do I think they'll win 97 games again this year? No. But I can see them contending for a playoff, maybe a wild card spot, and then go and then just continuing to build what they had last year. Um, I also saw you might think this is funny. When I brought up that it doesn't matter your height, weight, whatever. If you can play baseball, find a spot for you. Someone posted on Twitter, and it was just in the mix of me just scrolling. Everyone in like their starting lineup. I say starting lineup like it's basketball. Everyone in the rotation, no one's like 6 feet tall. Like everyone's 5'11" and under, and I'm like,
Who?
the Brewers.
The the Brewers?
The
Yeah,
Brewers,
maybe they have.
everyone's 5'11" and under, and I'm like, that's
Maybe they have
amazing, huh?
maybe the pitching coach is like barely 6 foot, and he's like, "Nah, man,
Nah, that
everyone's
shit's
shorter than me."
that shit's not fucking happening around here.
Yeah.
And lastly, to stay on baseball, so every year on MLB Network, they do their top 100 players.
Hmm.
I have the top players in alphabetical order that will be released tonight at 8 p.m. Now, these are the top 10 players that haven't been named yet, but they're in the top 10. The order is, is TBD. Corbin Carroll,
But
Vladimir
he's still
Guerrero.
considered.
No, top 10 player in the league.
Oh, okay, gotcha. The 100 top prospects were released the other day,
Yeah.
and both these players, by the way, that the Brewers, or yeah, that the Brewers got are both on the top 100. I'm not sure
Hmm.
where they rank, but top 100.
Yeah. So in alphabetical order, the top 10 of your top 100 MLB players right now, you got Corbin Carroll, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Cal Raleigh, Jose Ramirez, Paul Skeens, Scooble, Juan Soto, and Bobby Witt. I think that that top five is gonna be real fucking hard.
Yeah. If the Royals can make the playoffs, Bobby Witt Jr. will be an MVP candidate.
Dude, he's a freak.
Yeah.
Like
He
the
he's the one guy that can hit for power, hit for average. He's like mini Mike Trout.
Yeah, and he's in the infield.
Yeah.
Like
So
my
less
That's
room
what?
for injury.
Right.
Less room
The
for
big the big thing for me is that like you can't convince me that Bobby Witt's not a top 7, 8 player. And
right.
like how I would do this list, fuck. Shohei number one, Judge number two, Raleigh number three, Scooble number four, Bobby Witt number five, Vladdy number six, Jose number seven, Skeens number eight, Juan number nine, and Corbin Kettle number 10. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, I would move Raleigh down. I would put Scooble, Witt, and Vlad, or
As 4, 5,
Scooble.
6.
Did you have Vlad above Collie or Cal
No.
Raleigh?
No, I had Cal Raleigh
Okay.
number three.
All right, I would have Vlad, Witt, and Scooble all above him, um, because essentially he's had 1 year so far,
Right.
1 year of
Right. No, I mean,
himself on.
right. And,
Um,
basing it off of, the season we just saw.
it's insane that Skeens, after 2 seasons, is already like the NL's best pitcher. Like
And
ridiculous.
it's damn near not even close. Like,
Right.
his,
Well, Peralta would have probably won the Cy Young last year if it wasn't for
right.
Skeens.
Right.
So
The Skeen's just a freak, dude. I saw some crazy ass stat that like if he were to just get average run support, he'd be like 38-2, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's you don't see that ever for a rookie
right.
to come in. It's almost Magic Johnson esque, where a rookie comes in and is just that dominant.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it'll just be a few more years until he's out of Pittsburgh because they won't pay him. So,
Who do you think his
great,
next?
great baseball,
Who do you think
huh?
his next team? Who do you think his next team would be?
Dodgers, Yankees,
It'd be really
Mets.
funny. Oh,
What are like 5 teams that get free agents, dude? Like,
yeah. We were me and my dad were talking the other day when we were watching like the Broncos game about Mile High, and then Coors got brought up, and I'm like, I wonder if like not that they've ever had like a super beast pitcher, but like I'm like I wonder if anyone will win a Cy Young as playing as a Rockies pitcher. And my dad
mm,
was like, well, when they were first thing they had a damn good closer when then and spat out whatever random old head baseball name it was or whoever. And then I was like, I wonder if there's ever going to be like a top 2 or 3 pitcher in the league that's going to be like, you know what? Fuck gravity and fuck altitude. I'm gonna be the one that conquers cores. Like Scoobler Skeens, one of y'all go there and be like, I'm gonna defy everything and just dominate cores.
yeah,
And
or
you're
they just get dominated and they lose all their
literally,
endorsements.
literally,
Ugh.
there's no in between.
I like the Rockies, man. The Rockies are. I've always been up there and one of my favorite teams.
There was a game last year. I want to say it was like 17-14 or something crazy, and it was between the Pirates and the Rockies at Coors. And yeah, I want to say it was like 17-15 or something ridiculously high scoring. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude! But then you gotta remember
Yeah,
it's Coors, and
it's cool, and both teams suck.
So you're just destined for moonshots and wonky things happening.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Big
man.
yawn.
Oh, big yawn. I guess we'll talk about the national championship tomorrow,
Hmm.
alongside the football preview for this weekend.
Yep.
Um, thank you for joining us here on a Thursday. We had, MLK Day, like we said. We had a couple snow days. We're back here. Tomorrow's going to be frigidly cold here in Michigan, so we'll probably be inside anyway. Um, Thank you for joining us here at the Legends Clubhouse over on New Leaf News' YouTube channel. You can check us out usually on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go check us out at newleafnews.com/network. Both of them take you to the same great site. We have daily content, whether it's sports, entertainment, horoscopes, trial, murder, crime stuff, video games. If you're into the Oscars and all those award shows, we usually cover those too. So go check us out over there. Hit the subscribe button on both YouTube and New Leaf News' website. We appreciate that. Appreciate the support. We all know that you got one form of social media. Well, we're on 5 of them, whether it's Facebook, X, Instagram, Blue Sky, or TikTok. Go follow us on there, and we might give you a follow back. Who knows? Um, it's at New Leaf News on all those platforms. I am at Bobby Kaboose on X, on Instagram. That is at Lawson_1226. Go check out him on Instagram and X as well. If you like podcasts, and especially if you like wrestling and just entertaining shit, go check out my 64-Bit Legends Instagram page. Our wrestlers for our 64-Bit Legends Rumble, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, will be early next month. You'll get a kick out of some of our characters. They're dropping close to daily. They'll be dropping more often in the next couple of weeks.
Hmm.
But February 7th is the big Rumble, so tune in on Twitch at Melvin or twitch.tv/Melvin Troy. Um, Other than that, we will see you tomorrow.
Hmm.
Lawson, if you want to take us out, man, I'm good to go.
Awesome. For New Leaf News and Legends Clubhouse, I am Lawson Turner, and that right there, through my camera, through his camera, into that amazing room he's in, is Bobby Kaboose. We will see you beautiful people tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, we hope you enjoy the snow. If you have it, go out and make a snowball and, I don't know, beam
Make
somebody
a
with it.
snowball. Make a snowball.
Yeah, just make a snowball.
Just make one. Just make a
Yeah,
snowball. Leave it on
just
the porch. Come back inside.
no. I'm saying make a snowball and pelt it at somebody.
Oh, like the mailman?
Yes. And if you need
Nice.
practice, use your mailbox. But for the news and let's cross, I'm Austin Turner. That's why we'll see you beautiful people. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Until next time, peace.